Hey, it's David from the Redneck Garage. It's going to be a little overcast today and a little cold. Today I'm going to do a video on my NV200 Nissan service van. I've got almost 25,000 miles on it, and thought I could give a pretty good in-depth review of what's good, what's bad, and what, man, I just don't understand. So let's get to going on that. I did get a brochure from Nissan about the NV200. Tell me that I need to go buy one, even though I've already bought one. Their marketing department's great. The one thing that I'm kind of sad about is because I bought a 2013 instead of 2014. The warranty went from a 3-year 36 to 5-year 100,000 on the 2014 model, and I don't believe they made it retroactive. So thank you, Nissan. Even though the trucks are exactly identical, the people that were the early adopters of the NV200 get jacked, which doesn't surprise me. Okay, so these are brand new tires, about 2,000 miles on them, and you can see that indeed, after having it aligned and new strut bearings, everything put in, that it is wearing quite a bit on these tires. JK Tires is sending me a new set to be a tester. I haven't received those in yet, but I can see that the edges are getting worn down on them. So there is an issue with the tires on the truck, and Nissan hadn't come up with a fix, nor JK Tire. So I'm waiting to get my new set of tires, and then we'll be doing a video about the testing. As far as like the appearance of the van, I think they're awesome. They're a great advertising tool for the business. They lend themselves well to whatever advertising you want to do with it. So, you know, have no fears about that. These wheel covers, if you get the ones with the sport wheel covers, get ready to just keep buying a bunch of wheel covers because they fly off. They're just junk, and about 40 bucks a piece. I've bought 6 of them already. Okay, so this is the back of the van. Key machines, all kinds of junk in the back. Pretty well stocked up for locksmithing. I wish the van was a little bit bigger, but all in all, you know, it does a fair job. The cabinetry came from Adrian Steel. I chose the cabinet package, which came with a couple of these and something else, and then I ended up buying another $1,000 worth of cabinets to put another side one in, and it closed off that one door. And then I had to make a little workbench, and I had that cabinet also. Didn't have to buy that one, and it came with the divider in the front. Heat transfer from front to back is marginal. There's a fan up there. If it gets really cold, I can blow, you know, air in the back, but after a while it will warm up. Overall, you know, the lighting, I installed LEDs in here and put a switch, and that works really well for the lighting aspect of it, but that's pretty good on this. The only option that I didn't get on the van that I wanted when I bought it was the touchscreen nav system. It did come with the Bluetooth for the phone, which worked fairly well, but it didn't have any navigation or anything like that. So I went to the dealership and I asked them, hey, what if I wanted to upgrade the stereo to the best one? That was really one of the few options that I could have had on the van that it didn't come with. And what they told me, it was like $3,000 for the Nissan unit, which was just a ripoff. And then they started telling me, well, and then if you do it, then the Bluetooth may not work. You need maybe another module. So I just said, forget it. So I went to Alibaba and I bought this one for about $350 and had to wire it all in. It does have navigation in it, right? So that works fairly well. And I also have like, I was able to wire in the buttons on the steering wheel, but you know, you kind of do trial and error, and I was able to do like volume and mute and do all that. Like volume, mute, everything. I was able to wire this in to the Alibaba radio, which was pretty cool. So that worked out well. And you know, you could actually watch movies on it if you wanted to. It's got AM, FM, plays files. It actually has internet access if you have a Wi-Fi signal. So for $350, that was a pretty good deal. I put in the camera. So when you put in the back, the camera actually works fairly well for a aftermarket. You can see that it's got pretty good resolution, and it's a dirty lens right now because of the dirt on the back. And the camera actually does work fairly well when you put it in reverse. I installed it in the keyhole for the lock in the back. So that's pretty cool. That works well. So all in all, the radio, even though I didn't get the factory one, this one turned out to be fairly nice as far as what I'm using it for. And it's Android based, believe it or not. You can see that I've got 26613 on it. It's pretty cool, the way that this works. You've got 2 trips. You've got your miles per gallon instant. You've got your average miles per gallon. My miles per gallon go down a little bit because there's sometimes that I'm working out in the really, really cold and I'm in the back of the van and I have to leave it idling for power and so I don't freeze to death. So I think it'd be getting about 21 if I was just doing straight up driving. So that's pretty good. It'll give you distance to empty on your odometer, and it will give you an outside temperature. I wish that there was a way for it to just slowly scroll through those instead of having to reach up here and hit them all the time, right? You know, like every 5 seconds it could switch or something, I don't know. But it makes it pretty useless, like your outside temperature. When am I gonna flip over to see that? Probably not, because I wanna see either my miles per gallon or my, so usually I don't drive around with the temperature gauge on. I usually have my odometer or my trip gauge. Or miles per gallon I like to look at. Miles to empty, 227 is a pretty good thing to know. Although you've got the gas gauge right here, so if you can't figure out that you're about to go empty, then you're kind of retarded. It'll start flashing. When it gets down to low, it'll start flashing, and then when it gets really low, then basically your display goes out. You don't have any display. It'll just keep flashing low gas, so you have to get gas before you can see anything, including, I think, the odometer. The van is fairly quiet when you're driving it. There's not a lot of road noise. The motor's very quiet, especially when you're sitting in a parking lot, man. You can hardly hear it idling. That's pretty nice. You could actually leave it run and walk away and nobody'd know it. I've been pretty happy with the quietness of the van when you're driving. It's not bad at all. It does have the CV transmission in it, and when you're watching your RPMs, it'll go up to 3 and then just slowly move down. There's no shifting. There's no gears whatsoever. I'm not sure about the longevity of that. I know it's expensive. It has to be replaced, but I haven't had it give me any issues whatsoever as far as that goes. As far as driving the van, one of the biggest things that I've noticed in Middle Tennessee, we've got a lot of, you got some country, you got farms, you got just a varied landscape of houses and environments that you drive it in, and this is not an off-road vehicle. Absolutely not. I was driving on one driveway one time and it had pretty good ruts in it, and this is such a low-slung vehicle that it drug the back of the van and it ended up ripping one of the brake sensor cables. And when that happened, I had the van in for service, and they charged me like $500 to fix it. So the $80 call that I made cost me almost $500 because the van drug the ground, because there is no ground clearance. I mean, there's absolutely none. So don't try to drive it except on an established roadway that's flat. If you get off anything, it will do damage to your truck. Now, all that said, the biggest disadvantage really of the Nissan NV200 is the Nissan dealership network. You're going to get a warranty that you get with your truck. And I don't think any dealer's any different, really probably Ford, Dodge, all of them. But that's a disadvantage of buying a new truck, is that they're going to break it off in you. When you take your car to the dealership, they're going to figure a way to hose you. Just take that brake sensor cable, for example. They overcharged me for the part. They charged me labor of 2 hours for, I looked up the procedure for like a 30-minute job, which, okay, make money. But then they charged me to adjust the rear brakes. The rear brakes don't have to be adjusted. So it was just a hose that they bent me over for. And you know what? I have a pretty good relationship with them. So I'm really kind of sad that all in all, the dealerships just jack you like that. It's terrible. I'll give you another example. When I bought the vehicle, I get free oil changes because I bought a service contract. If you buy the service contract, they supposedly give you a little bit break on the, I think I got like 0.5% off of my financing rate, because I guess if you pay for your oil changes first,
right? They believe that you're going to take care of the vehicle and pay for it and all that. People that are responsible pay their car note. And I haven't paid my car note in like 6 months, so I hope they don't come get my truck. Now it's auto-drafted. Anyway, so oil change before the one I'm going to complain about. I went ahead and switched over to Mobil 1. I believe that Mobil 1, a synthetic Mobil oil, does extend the life of your motor. Certainly can't hurt, but every commercial vehicle that I've had for any length of time, I've run Mobil 1 in it, and it's flawlessly. And you extend your time that you have to do it in between, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so take it into the dealership. I'd already changed it out to Mobil 1 one time myself because I didn't want to sit around the dealership and wait 2 hours for them to do a freaking oil change. They're speedy. So I take it in there and I get the oil change done and I say I want Mobil 1. And they're like, okay. So they come back and charge me almost $8 a quart for the Mobil 1, right? And I'm thinking, okay, either A, you need to give me the oil that I was supposed to get that I already paid for, right? This contract, I paid for the oil. Or B, give me a break on the price of the Mobil 1 because, you know, I didn't get the oil. But no, they charge me almost $8 a quart, which is over retail, what I can go buy it for. You know, they're making quite a bit of money at $8 a quart. What about that other oil? So you need to give me the oil or give me a break on the price. But they don't, because guess what? Their whole thing is to jack you. So anyway, that's my biggest disappointment with Nissan. You think that they're going to be a different kind of company dealing with the service, and I think it's that way with every dealership. I don't believe it's just my dealership. I think every Nissan dealership will hose you. So that's what you're going to be faced with a Nissan vehicle, whether it's an NV200 or NV or anyway. Okay, so that's the rant on the Nissan dealership, which you're going to get hosed on. Overall, the van has been really pretty good for the first 25,000 miles. I haven't had a lot of issues with it. I had one window switch, one door lock switch go out. There is one thing that's bugging me a little bit. If you look at the grain on the steering wheel right here, and I don't know if you can see it here. I'm going to try to get it on camera, but on the top of the steering wheel where I keep my hand, the steering wheel is wearing away, and you can actually see kind of the rubber behind it. So that's kind of crappy. I'm going to take it into the dealership next time and see if they'll do something about the steering wheel. That would be a good thing. You will notice that the tires are terrible at this point. Now, JK Tires has told me that they're working on new compounds and blah, 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 blah. Nissan hasn't done anything. They haven't had a recall. They haven't had an assistance. They just keep saying there's no issue with the truck, and that's a lie. So if you want to believe that, believe it, but it's not true. There is an issue with the tires. They will wear out at 15,000 miles. Now, the new tires that they're supposedly working on may last longer. I don't know. That's up in the air. Other than the tire thing, you know, I've been pretty happy with the truck. Okay, so that's going to be my review on my NV200. Well, mine's a 2013. If you go buy one right now, the 2015s are exactly the same, except for the warranty. I got jacked because I was an early adopter of the Nissan van. So to summarize, the good about the van is the gas mileage. The small size makes it very maneuverable, very, very comfortable for a tall person. The negatives would be that the tires are still an issue. And maybe they'll get that straightened out, I don't know. But if you go buy one today, you're going to still have that problem. And that you got to deal with a Nissan dealer. And if you do, the recommended procedure if you have to go to the Nissan dealer is you probably get on eBay or check online, maybe Amazon, but get you a rape kit. So when you go in, you can do some, you know, send it off for a test. Anyway, I don't think you would go wrong with an NV200. It's been a very good truck up to this point with the first 25,000 miles. We shall see. I'll be doing another one probably next year about this time to see how many problems I've had in that length. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.